Breaking news coming out of Clemson, South Carolina. One of the biggest players to sign with Clemson in years, one of the biggest players on the team, one of the most loved, has declared for the NFL draft. Yes, Bryan Bresee is not opting out. He played bowl game, but he is calling it. He is entering the NFL draft, and I don't blame him. I'm very happy for the young man. Before I dive into that, hey, I'm Brian Knight. I'm not Bobby Durkins, at least not here. If you're brand new, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, hit the thumbs up. Also, remember, subscribing is free. So, yeah, just hit that button. And I just read something, and I just totally lost my mind. Anyway, yeah. So hit the thumbs up and turn on the notifications. Bryan Bresee is easily. I don't know what. I promise I am not drinking or on anything. I just cannot speak. Maybe my heart is just like tore up. But I'll never forget when I heard that Clemson was in the running to actually be considered by Bresee. It was unbelievable. There was even a meme going around showing him in high school at Damascus, there in Maryland, seeing this massive human being just slinging people around, and the caption below it was Clemson, just especially after he just signed to Thor. He is one of those individuals that no matter whether you're a Clemson fan or not, no matter whether you keep up with Clemson or not, he's an individual who everybody knows. His recruiting coming out of high school was nothing less than just intriguing. His ability to play the game and dominate the game and be a factor, even if he's not getting a tackle, just having to account for him opens up the playability for other players whose stats may actually majorly be impacted by just his presence on the field. Bryan Bresee is that guy. And that's why the pros, why they're salivating over him. And as I said, he came out of Damascus, Maryland. He's around 6'5", 6'6", well over 300 pounds. He had an injury last year. He was not. He didn't play most of the season last year because of injury. In 2020, believe it or not, he actually had better numbers than obviously he did last year because he was hurt. This year, unfortunately, he lost his sister. He was fighting cancer. And quite honestly, I said this over and over and over, and I'm going to say it again. After he lost his sister, if he would have came to the Clemson community and said, you know what, I need to go somewhere and just clear my head. I just can't worry about football right now, I wouldn't have blamed him. Stuff like that you don't just get over. It's not like losing a dog. I know I just lost some people in there, but I'm sorry. Dogs and human beings are totally different. I'm so sorry, but you've got your priorities out of whack. You love your dog, but that's out of whack. You lost his sister, and he came back. He took some time off, but he came back. And just knowing that he is, just for an offense to know that they have to play against him is a big deal. Now, personally, I believe that some of our other linemen, as I stated just a second ago, their numbers actually increased because of his presence. You said, well, Brian, what do you mean? When an offensive line has to account for Bryan Bresee, and they're going to scheme to try to keep him as inactive as possible or control him, that opens up opportunities for other players to make tackles and etc. And I just want to say to him, I appreciate what he brought to Clemson. I appreciate the way that he carried himself and how he played to the very end. I don't blame Miles Murphy for opting out. This is nothing more than a business. College football is nothing more than a business. And it's not because of NIL and transfer portal. When they started paying coaches 2, 3, 10, 2, 3, 5, 7, $10 million, that's when we knew that it was a major business. Once again, have no problem with people making money. Absolutely. Hope to be one of them one day to make a ton of money. Money can't fix everything, but it can fix money problems. It can't make you happier unless your problems that are dragging you down are money based. If someone gets a disease and money can't fix it, you're dying. Money can't fix that. But if you have money problems, money can make things better. And we could dive into that and talk about that for a very, very long time. But college football is as we know, is over. I mean, USC is going to be part of, yes, from California is going to be part of the Big Ten. My Lord, it's over. That's the whistle blowing right there. That's the fat lady singing, so to speak. And folks, we need to understand something. That a guy like Bryan Bresee, if you notice, here this guy is, who is an incredible athlete. But have you noticed how it's kind of quiet? How he really hasn't just made a lot of noise. He really hadn't talked about a lot of things. He's kind of flown under the radar. Yes, a 6'5", 6'6", over 300-pound top recruit, top player in the country. Guy's going to be a first rounder unless something stupid happens. If I was an NFL team and I needed a defensive lineman, I'd sign that man right now. He's a player's player. I don't know him personally. He could be a terrible guy. He could be a wonderful person. I have no clue. I'm just talking about his playability. Have you noticed how he's not made this a big deal? Have you noticed how he hasn't he played the ball game and he declared 3 days later. That type of player really doesn't too much exist anymore. Everybody's got to go on Twitter. Everybody's got to go on Instagram. Everybody's got to go on whatever forum they are that they're on, that they prefer to use. And they have to make everything flashy. Once again, I understand there's a business side of that. I understand that. The kid who followed Deion Sanders down to Jacksonville, not Jacksonville, but Jackson State, and then followed him out to Colorado. I can't remember his name. I know who it is. Listen to me. He made everything as flashy as possible. And I understand he's trying to cash in. Bryan Bresee is not doing that. He's like, just get me to the league. I'll make a lot of money there. Just get me there. So I want to say I wish Bryan Bresee the very best. And I also want to say to you, thank you for what you brought to Clemson. Thank you for wearing orange and white when you could have worn any other jersey in the world. Literally, you could have played for anybody. You came to Clemson. You came to a team and stayed with a team who I really think that some of the coaching staff has lost its competitive edge, but you never lost your competitive edge. You came out, you played your butt off, you did your thing, and I mean, I really appreciate it. And so wish him the very best. I hope you get drafted early first round and make a ton of money and invest it well. Travis Hunter, thank you, Preston Kirby. Travis Hunter's who I was talking about. Followed Deion Sanders. If Deion Sanders went to coach Idaho State right now, Travis Hunter would follow him. I question who he has who in his ears, because let me tell you this, as men, we need to make as much money as we possibly can doing it the right way. We are providers. We're supposed to do that. I'm not one of these guys who says, well, I've been a mechanic. My daddy was a mechanic. My grandpa was a mechanic. And they struggled all their life, but I'm a mechanic too. So I'm going to sit here even if my family is struggling. I don't believe that. I also don't believe in chasing money. There is a balance that you have to find there. But if a person is capable of making $100 million, make $100 million. Don't sit there and make, 10,000 while your family is struggling. Don't do that. But you have to have the right people around you. And I wonder about Travis Hunter. I mean, remember, he's what, 19? Can you remember yourself at 19? Yeah, I wouldn't. Lord help me. And I'm not knocking the kid. I mean, Bryan Bresee carried himself very well, seems to have a good family around him, and I wish him the very best. Well, folks, once again, if you like this, pass this content along to anybody who likes to talk college football, whether they love or hate Clemson. I think they'll still find it very interesting. Pass it along on the forums. Thank you for getting me over 1,000 subscribers. Some of you are like, why is that a big deal? Well, I can now monetize my videos. So every time somebody watches it, YouTube will pay me a teeny tiny amount, and it takes a while for it to build up, but that does help with buying equipment and trying to make things better. Get a little pocket money to be able to go buy, I don't know, a Hershey's bar or something. But thank you so much. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. I'm Brian Knight. I am definitely not Bobby Durkins, at least not here. Who knows? Oh, Bob might show up a little later on to get in a fight with me. Even on a bad day, it's always good to be a Tiger. Take care.